Earlier this year, I worked on a really exciting commission for one of my regular clients, Karen Mabon. They came to me with a beautiful brief and gave me full creative freedom to bring it to life. We shot everything in a studio with a completely white backdrop, but I knew from the very start that the final images were going to be anything but plain. Here is the final result, and here is how we made that happen. So the head of marketing of Karen Mabon had been following me on Instagram, and we have worked together for many years, but not doing anything like this. I've worked with them on all kinds of shoots before, and it had been a little while since I'd done a project with them. The last one I did was for their collaboration with Mattel with Barbie when the Barbie movie came out. So a little while ago, loved that shoot. That was really fun. I'll pop a little image of that here so you can see what that was looking like. And anyway, the head of marketing had been following my work and seeing all of the work I was doing with AI in particular and my mixed media. And in early January, the head of marketing emailed me and said that they were really interested in what I was doing, and they were interested in working with me on a project that involved me doing my new style of work for them. What was amazing about this project for me was that they didn't really set me strict guidelines. They didn't know exactly what they wanted. They knew that they wanted something exciting and vibrant and visual and floral and colorful, which is perfectly aligned with the brand. But they were really trusting me to collaborate with them to bring that to life and help them work out how that was going to happen. They shared a few ideas with me, and this is a mood board I put together based on their ideas. But the rest of the shoot was really up for me to create and mold. They completely trusted me, which honestly is the dream of any artist and photographer. I was able to go back to them and pitch creative ideas and how we could combine both photography and digital art and AI elements to make something brand new and unforgettable for their next spring summer campaign. The shoot itself was actually really simple. So we ended up doing everything in a studio, Shutterhouse Studios, which are my go-to studio space in High Barnet in North London. And the reason I did everything on a white backdrop was because I wanted to have full creative control of the environment the model would be in post-production. But every image was planned heavily in advance. We knew which looks would be a standing shot, which looks would be a cropped shot, which looks would be a sitting shot or a laying down shot. And I also had planned out, to an extent, how each image was going to be created afterwards with the elements. Planning is so key for a shoot like this. I cannot stress that enough. You cannot go into a shoot like this where you're going to be bringing the rest of the image to life in post-production without any idea of what the final pieces are going to look like. So the goal on the day was to really capture the base poses, the gestures, and the moods that I could then build upon later. It's sort of like laying the groundwork for a collage. When it comes to the lighting, we kept things really soft and flattering. The aim was to create a space for me to have the ability to add in the floral elements and then allow them to be easily blended in with the image and layered in over time. I wanted to keep the lighting the same throughout the entire shoot to make it not only easy for post-production, but also to bring a sense of cohesion to each image. When I'm doing a shoot like this, it's a little bit too easy to go overboard and change the light every shot and to change the outfit every shot, to change the pose every shot. But before you know it, you've got a set of images that don't look like they have any connection to one another. And that's not what we wanted. We wanted something that would have a general connection between each image so that they were a collection. They were a flowing group of images that worked really nicely all together. But was amazing. She totally understood what we were doing. She was super enthusiastic and very eager to make it all work, even when I had her pretending to be posing with a giant flower, which was actually just her holding onto a mop. And then I used that in post-production. Here's the shot in question. Looks ridiculous, but when you see the final image, it works. And I knew exactly what I was doing. So she had the vision, she understood, she knew what to do, and she nailed it. Itself was done. I brought all the images into Photoshop and I started playing. I knew roughly what I was doing with each one, but I had to still figure out the composition. I had to find the right elements. I had to generate the right elements as well. And that took a little bit of back and forth with just the tools and with the images and also with the client to discuss what was working for them, what wasn't working for them, what they were liking, what they weren't liking. And I learned a ton of lessons along the way. In terms of the tools I was using on this shoot, I primarily used AI tools like Midjourney. I also used Adobe Firefly very heavily, and I also just stuck to plain old Photoshop. Most of this work was actually general compositing in Photoshop, and that was how I introduced the floral elements and the background grading and the color changes, and I had them wrap around the model and fill the space. I treated each image like an individual piece, but I wanted to make sure that they felt cohesive as a bundle, as a collective. It wasn't about replacing the photography and going to a place where the photography was irrelevant. It was really about expanding on the photo I already had and adding to it. I wanted to feel like the final image was something that felt like it existed in a dream world. And this process takes time. Some images came together super easily. Honestly, some of them were really quick, and others were much more of a puzzle where I really had to play around with the tools, had to work around things, had to play with different ideas. But that's what I love about this process. That's what I love about mixed media and this much more creative approach to photography. It keeps you on your toes. Trust me, it really does. It was a real struggle, a real work, but so rewarding, and I absolutely adore the final results. How the final collection came together. The images are soft, feminine, but also have a slightly surreal element to them, which I think if you look at the prints in the clothing, Karen Mabon, Karen is the designer and the brand owner and the whole brains behind the brand, it makes so much sense when you look at the world we built. This kind of work is why I love blending photography with other tools. It gives me room to push boundaries and to explore new possibilities. So this commission really lit a spark for me, and since then I've been diving even deeper into how I can mix these AI worlds I create with mixed media and with photography, and I'm so excited I'll be sharing more projects like that coming very soon. If you're curious to learn more about these tools and how you can add this kind of creativity into your commercial shoots and your fashion shoots and your editorial projects, or you just want to see more about how these tools can work in a commercial setting, please do leave comments in the section below and make sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.